Hello everyone, what is up? Welcome back. Today, maybe a shorter episode? I don't know. It depends on how long my energy lasts. Obviously, I have astoundingly infinite energy to play this game, but sometimes it does run out. Anyways, last time we were right here where we were going to fight Mr. Boss Guy over here. Mr. Boss Guy over here, who is one of the more fun bosses in the game, if you ask me. Not particularly hard. Once you know how to deal with him, he's definitely not hard anymore. But I feel like the first time fighting him is definitely an experience and a half. It also, like, I do need to, like, try and remember which of his hands I'm actually supposed to be hitting. I tend to forget that part, but, you know, it's totally gonna be fine. Like, I'm pretty sure it's the right hand, but it could be the left hand, actually. Is it the left hand? Am I supposed to hit the left hand first? Oh, no, wait. It's the right hand, but his right hand... Right, okay. His right hand is the other hand. Right. That makes a lot of sense. Suddenly. Again. I do think it's, like, sort of hard to figure out the first time. Although it does show you very clearly that it's protecting. I think the little message shows up, and as you can see now, it shows like protected is gone, and the middle section is still very protected. So that's like, you can tell how you're supposed to do it. The game does not hide the info away from you at all. But I really like this boss fight. It feels very different from like stale old regular boss fights, where the creativity is like a little bit not there. So I'm very happy with this boss fight. I think it's a very good example of what you can do. What you can do with like a very little amount of creativity in a boss fight like this. Because really, as much as I love this boss fight, it's not like this is some crazy new idea. It's just adding 2 states to a boss to like decide an order that you're supposed to fight it in. But, you know, putting in the effort to create something that isn't the same as every other boss in every other game on its own is something that you really should appreciate. So, I love this boss. Obviously, once you realize how to deal with him, it really isn't that difficult anymore. He does drop the frozen facet. Now, the frozen facet, I don't know what exactly that does off the top of my head. I think it's a decent item, but I don't know. Anyways, we're going to be inspecting a lot of things. We're going to be hitting a rock here. Or no, we're going to hit the end. Now, the game sort of like... I feel like the game often misleads you in the sense that it makes you think that once you get here, there's nothing else to do. I'm gonna give random the terrible party. So Sandy has a good party. I feel like the game kind of pretends that there's no way to continue to go back after this, but there's so much that we haven't done yet back in Mazul. So there's like absolutely no way that we're continuing. Well, we're continuing the main quest like a tiny little bit. Like a minuscule amount is what we're going to continue the main story as. And then once we've done that, we'll continue on towards the actual goal. I feel like Chapter 2 and Chapter 3, Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, I mean, are undervalued in terms of just how much content they actually have. Like, aside from everything else, they just have so much content. So much content hidden away from the player, and not in a negative sense, you know? Not in a bad way. It's hidden content in the positive sense that, you know, you're experiencing content that isn't, like, plain to see, per se. If that makes sense. Like, even just the Elves of War, you run into them, but realistically speaking, like, there's not that much, like, nothing really tells you that the Elves of War are right there, you know? Anyways, we're going to go ahead and we're going to open this chest. Random is still equipped with the long ring, right? Okay. Still have the lock ring. Now, there's a couple things here, but maybe the most important one is that you have to interact with her. And then you have to give her whatever she asks for to bring her back to life, and then offer to bring her back with you. Now, if you don't do this the first time you meet her, she will die. I'm not sure if it's exactly the first time, or whether there's any form of timer on it. But if you don't do it, let's say ASAP, she will just die. There will be no chance to save Roseanne afterwards. So there is definitely that. Definitely kind of brutal that there's, you know, that she actually dies if you don't save her. On the other hand, it does make it all a little bit more serene. Anyways, if we put Sarah in the party here, we're going to pull out the Sword of Ages. And the Sword of Ages is going to be the sword that we were looking for earlier. It's going to be the sword that that girl was looking for. Anyways, as for the Frozen Facet, I think, yeah, over here, it inflicts steel skin, so it makes Asgbar a lot more resistant. Which I believe is a pretty nice thing. And then the Orcish Warmail is going to inflict heroism on Asgbar, which is obviously going to make him, you know, a lot better since we don't have to buff him. He's just natively buffed now. Yeah, we need to circle around to get to there. And we want to get over there for solid reasons. You'll see. Anyways, open up this chest, 200 gold. And all of these, I think, are ancient coffee pots. So we can collect all of these. That's 4 ancient coffee pots for us. And the 4 ancient coffee pots, obviously, just like before, we can sell these coffee pots to be... And there's another one there. So we can sell these coffee pots, obviously, to the lady in the hotel. Pretty good. I mean, it gives you gold, you know. It's just another gold thing. But other than that, it's not that special, I suppose. Anyways, we're going to return to the ice crawler, and we are going to head up. And I believe we can just venture back now. Go back, yes. Alright, so we're back in the room. We're just going to leave. We're going to leave down to the bottom. Actually, I guess we'll open that chest here. I mean, last time I kind of wanted to finish the episode because I did have to go. Which is why I sort of skimped out on exploring this place properly. But on the other hand, there really isn't that much special here anyways. So there's that. There's nothing in these barrels. I'm not sure if there's anything left here. Nope, I got everything, I suppose. So yeah, there really isn't that much special in this place anyways. One of the things that you can definitely come back for though, and obviously I'm doing that. Oh yeah, right, I was running around with Sandy instead of Mandala. What did he learn? Echo Sword, right, okay, good. Anyways, I believe I showcased the enemy that you find here before. The thing is, you kind of want to use wave vibrators to kill the side enemies first. And then once they're dead, you want to use hijacking on these. Which is going to inflict 1,300 damage. But then that guy has a skill that auto kills you, which is really annoying. And I honestly don't know if there's much you can do about it either. Anyways, this is why I always buy the wave vibrators. I think in total there's maybe... Corrosion is such a strong skill. And I don't... Like, it's not the only skill he has. So there is a chance that he just doesn't use it. But it's a really potent skill. And then even if you survive the first round, he just... Like, there's nothing stopping him from just doing it again this round. So... Alright, so we managed to revive random. So far we're actually doing pretty good. The question is, how do we deal the most possible damage to him now? Maybe with the Burning Grounds? Okay, so we actually got through. That's gonna give us elemental bombs, bazookas, lasers, hijackings 3 times, and 2 air bombs. Which is the relevant part, the air bombs. The air bombs are really good, and it saves you a lot of money to get them for free here. My only concern so far is that we are running a little bit low on... we are starting to run a little bit low on the amount of Burning Grounds that we have left. So there is that. I don't think it's an issue per se, but I do think I should note that we are running low on Burning Grounds. That might potentially become an issue later on. Anyways, yeah, this tree does nothing. I think this flower you can interact with if you have Coca-Cola in the party. Yep, gonna give him some XP, I suppose. Beyond that, I think we need to use Askbar to go back. Now, I feel personally like they could have just made it so that if you have Askbar in the party, he just takes you there by default, instead of, like, rerouting you through the other event, but whatever. Anyways, we're gonna heal the fatigue here, and we're just going to peacefully kill these guys. I don't remember, I don't think... Yeah, let's not. Let's swap Rushan out for Coca-Cola right now, just so that we don't run into the Millipuffs and die to them from having no equipment to deal with them. That has happened before. Anyways, Roseanne is going to leave, and that's going to give us the Witch Coven map, which is obviously one of the major things that we had not yet gotten. So we now have the Witch Coven map. We're gonna rest at the inn. We're gonna buy... Over here, this lady is going to sell us a gown of purity, which we need for something. And then we're going to buy food rations. And now we're going to do my favorite part of every Laxius game, every Laxius event ever, every map ever. It is honestly the worst thing in existence. I'm just specifying in case the sarcasm wasn't clear. I absolutely despise what we have to do next. Because the next event is truly atrocious. Well, not an event. Calling it an event is being too kind. It's not really an event. Also, this guy is going to mention the big snow creature. You can't find him right now, because we don't have the item required to find him. But talking to the guy will give you the prompt, so that you can at least start looking for him. Hello? We get the Banshee Cape, and we're gonna learn how to spot those flowers. Quest, he has something for us. Now we're gonna be asked to open up, well, to fix the radiator. And this is actually the thing, the cutoff point. If you accept this quest, there is literally no issue with accepting it. But you'll see that this lady has now moved here. And you will no longer be able to fix the radiators. To donate the money will now become impossible. So that is why I said earlier that if we didn't do it, we'd get stuck. Because if you don't fix the radiators now, it becomes impossible to donate the quest. To donate for that quest. Anyways, so far what we're doing is we're just gaining levels here from clearing quests. The only relevant people that really need the XP is Sandy and Random. Alright, a huge boulder has fallen, so we're just going to quickly do that. The quests of the Elves of War definitely aren't the most impressive quests. And I don't even know what their last quest is, like, off the top of my... Right. The annoying part is that Sarah always wants to be in the party for some of these quests, even though I really don't want her in my party for these. I want Coca-Cola in the party because I want to level Coca-Cola further. Anyways, we're gonna venture in here. We're gonna give... Right. We already bought one of these, so that's fine. We're gonna head over here. I think it was the weapon shop where we need to be. Yep, over here. Talk to her. Excuse me? Did she not say 10... Did she not say 10,000? Huh? Let me check. Oh, I think she says 10,000 and then she'll give you half. Yeah. Right. She gives you half that amount. I was kind of hoping that the luck ring might improve the amount of gold that you get from that quest, but apparently it doesn't. Well, it's whatever. Anyways, we cleared yet another quest, which means we can head back up. We can go ahead and go back to the Elves of War. This little walk is so much fun every time, truly. We're gonna go ahead and talk to him. Quest, well done as always. And now I think if we leave and come back, I actually don't know what the trigger is for that Millipuff to get sick. But that's the next quest here. The last quest too, I think. Anyways, we basically did everything we could to stall. So the next thing is going to be the atrocious quest that I truly despise. It's going to be to head down here. And now we're going to start a quest that is so atrocious that I'm going to put Sarah in the party. Because I don't actually think that it's possible to do this without her. Now, there is two options here. Option one, you're a completionist, an insane completionist, more specifically. And your goal in life is to clear every single monster of every single place of every single thing you encounter. In other words, you are nothing like me, because I don't do that. Generally speaking, I will try to clear all the content of everything that I do. However, it is neither fun nor recommended to do that here, because these enemies are insanely difficult to actually beat. Also, I'm just trying to remember which skill actually kills this, because oh yeah, right, Emerald Soul is effective on her. Anyways, we're gonna kill her, and that's going to, like, all of these mantra tier fights, or mantras, are actually, buttons that you're pressing, so to speak, because they trigger something. So we're just gonna spam Silver Sword and Emerald Laser to deal as much damage as possible, as fast as possible. And some of them are teleports. So this one was a teleport. Make sure that you don't walk onto the chair, otherwise you're gonna get teleported. Anyways, the goal of this place is that you have to touch every single chest in this place. That is basically what you're meant to do, right? Now, once you've unlocked every single chest, you're actually done. So you might wonder, like, okay, why do I care about that? Because, you know, they're just chests. The rewards are also terrible. I'm just gonna let you enjoy that knowledge. There's a couple good ones, though. Like, even if this wasn't a super important place to be in, eventually, I would still recommend you clear it at least once. Because some of the rewards are definitely worth it. But in general, this place truly is kind of atrocious to make your way through. Keep in mind, I say this, and my current XP level and stuff, it's not like I'm playing the game as someone that hasn't played before. Now, these individual trees aren't the worst, because they do drop IV tiers, and Aspar can ground block them. That is a big part of why this is a relatively okay dungeon to be in, even now at this point. But that doesn't really change that this is a really tough place to get through. Especially the multiple encounters, and there's a lot of multiple encounters. They're actually really tough. They're not impossible, and if you use items, obviously it just gets easier and easier. If you're going to be using items. Which is not a diss. I'm not against using items or whatever. I think use whatever you like. The only reason I say it that way is a couple of the items, for example, the Burning Grounds, are just really good at so many sections in the game. Eventually, you are gonna run out, and that was the point that we bought them is like the only section where you have easy access to them at this point in time. So getting more of them right now is, well, not an option, simply put. Also, it's very hard to tell which of these are actually individual fights and which of these are not individual fights. Anyways, if you manage to blind one of them, it also becomes a lot less hard. And obviously the Torrent Sword, as you surely have noticed by now, the Torrent Sword obviously also adds a lot to the fact that, to what you can do in this place. Because the Torrent Sword is just a really good weapon. Like, I hope it was obvious by now, but the Torrent Sword is an insanely useful weapon in general. That's why I will always recommend buying it, even if some people do question how good the cost versus utility trade-off is, because you do get the legendary sword, and the legendary sword is a legendary sword, you know. Anyways, okay, time to fight two of them. I'm first gonna try without prepping up with Hero, just to see what we might be able to pull off here. And if this fails, we're gonna go ahead and use Hero, and then we're just going to kill them that way. I'm pretty sure normal attacking with the chance for ground block is the best chance you have to not use items on these. And like I said, the using items thing is really because I know using an Omega Budon, for example, easily gets rid of these guys. But the reason I did all these quests before and really left this one as late as possible is because I figure if you do it that way, you might be able to do this entire place without using items, or without spamming items at least. Obviously, I'm excluding recovery items from that count. Anyways, as you might remember, over here is another Mantra Soul. As I said earlier, these walls basically just have those. I'm not sure if this works against ghosts. I'm not sure, this works against ghosts, but as you can see, it deals terrible damage. Sandy, in a nutshell, not the best damage dealer, but, you know. I feel like I'm missing something. Like, I vaguely seem to remember these having something that deals a lot more damage to these guys, but I'm not remembering. Anyways, this is a weapon that he can equip, but as you can probably tell, it's definitely not all that great. This thing is empty for some reason. I would have thought that there would be something in there, but there isn't. Anyways, as you can see, we're running sort of low on healing potions. Not a big deal since we do have the Magicka potions, but whatever. Anyways, we're gonna continue. This seems like a lone one, so we're gonna fight it. Yeah, our ground lock luck has been pretty terrible so far. Not the biggest issue in the world, but it does make me like slightly annoyed to know that my luck is being atrocious right now. But you know, whatever. And our Iveen tier luck has not been too stellar either. Now the reason that I'm trying to like fight him a bit more confidently is because we have been having success. We haven't really had too much trouble with them so far. When they inflict cold on you, Sarah does not have Warm Touch, does she? Oh, she does. I always forget that Sarah actually gets Warm Touch and can heal cold. In fact, Sarah actually gets a lot of skills that you generally don't use much, like Mass Enchantment, curing Poison, Venom, and Plague. This one curing Poison, Pox, and Cold. So for example, you can just go ahead and cure the cold that's inflicted on Sandy. Same with Random here. But in general, like, I don't find these skills to be the most useful. Oh, Random wasn't inflicted with cold to begin with. That's surprising. As we're gonna go Hero, we're gonna heal Random a bit, because obviously we're suffering decently hard at this point. But Random can just one-tap him if you do that. Now, like I said, the only reason I'm not doing it is because the mana cost of getting Hero up every single time is actually decently high. It will allow Random to deal very decent damage, even without further buffing, which is great, obviously. So it's a bit of a trade-off, what you want to do. It's whatever. Okay, so we've gotten that Ghost. This flower is going to give us bonus MP. It's not like bonus MP in the sense of you gain MP. It's bonus MP in the sense of you get MP back. So there's that. But I'm actually going to try to see if Mind Snap might deal some damage. It really doesn't. I'm kind of like thinking that this is actually the best way to deal damage. Trauma might deal damage, but I doubt it. Yeah, 16 damage. It's not exactly what we were looking for, right? Anyways, that's going to... We get the Balnula shield from that. And I believe we now head up here and then all the way to the right. We already did that one? Okay. Yeah, right. So in that case, we have to fight the duo here. I should have prepped Hero. Let's attack buff Random and let's just go for it. Let's see what we get. Sadly, we don't get the, Okay, we do get the ground lock, but on the wrong one. That's a pity too. I'm pretty sure Random would kill the other one now if I hit him. Okay. So as you can see, if we prep properly, these fights are pretty easy. It's just the mana cost is really high, and it doesn't feel necessary per se. On top of the fact that you're already losing a lot of mana here. Now, some things that I do want to try. Does a laser work? I think lasers are only... Oh, better versus ghosts and robots. Well, oh, okay, wow. That is surprisingly effective. Haha, losers. Anyways, yeah, that spawns that chest, which gives you gold. And then all the way over here, you'll find this door already unlocked, and you'll be able to access this. Anyways, now that we know that lasers actually work on these mantra souls, I'm kind of reluctant to do anything else. And that sure is more efficient. Anyways, we're gonna find the Lindarit's scimitar there and the Sang mantle. And you'll know that you're done when this guy over here spawns. So he's gonna ask us whether or not we want to follow him. We're gonna say yes, obviously. If you don't say yes here, you lose. Just saying. Well, I mean, you don't literally lose. You just lose access to this. Anyways, we're gonna get a quest for finding the Thieves Guild. And we're going to swap out the party again, because we're gonna put Wandala in. I think I've not used Wandala in long enough that I kind of want to put her in the party for a bit. So yeah. And I think the Banshee Cape is pretty good for her, because it does make her faster. So let's go with that. Actually, I'm gonna give her the seed pendant, if I have that. Who has the seed pendant? Yeah, let's stick to that then. Anyways, the first thing you want to do is you want to head up here. Well, want to do. You don't really have a choice in the matter, so it's really more what you have to do, but, you know. The first thing you have to do is you have to deal with this guy over here. Now, Wandala's Warzone skill is really good for that. Paralyzes him, and then you just get to leave. So we'll have done that. Also, you do kind of want to complete quests with Wandala, because there is a single thing in the game that forces Wandala to have completed a fair amount of quests. Anyways, Wandala's going to get a lot of XP here. Sandy's going to get a lot of XP here. Because they're supposedly thieves. Now, I'm pretty sure no one else actually works for this. I'm willing to try, but... yeah, so, like I thought, it's possible that Coca-Cola does work, but I don't think so. Yeah, there we go. So it's only Wandala and Sandy. I kind of knew that, but, you know. Anyways, talk to Brewberg again, and Brewberg is going to give you mercantile points. And this is kind of where you might start seeing why I said that this was so important, right? Because if you don't do any of this, you won't get the mercantile points initially. And furthermore, you won't get any of the other points either. You won't get burglary, you won't get persuasion, you won't get any of that. So, you know. Anyways, we can buy healing potions here and food rations, the latter of which is pretty good. We can also rest for free over here. I don't think it's entirely for free. I think it's very cheap though. Anyways, so now that we've done that, we actually got the map, as you might have noticed. So now that we have the map, we are going to go back and they're going to ask us, oh, this is another one where we have to put Sarah in the party, so I'm going to swap Asbar out. We're going to be tasked with stealing the stupid chest right here. And we're going to notice we're not actually fast enough to do it right now. I don't know what the exact requirement is, but... do I have another speed boost item? Doesn't look like it. Oh, yes I do. There we go. Almost used that on the wrong one. Anyways, that means we're gonna get this. Now, Sarah's the only one that's gonna get the quest for that anyways, so it doesn't really matter who you do it with, since she's gonna be the only one that gets XP anyways. The Millipuff is not sick yet, so we're just going to go back. I'm actually starting to wonder whether or not you have to finish a specific quest before that the Millipuff gets sick. It'd be pretty mean if that was the case, because the reason that I'm waiting to do another quest is because I figure I might as well wait until the Millipuff gets sick. But I guess we'll have to see whether or not that's the case. Anyways, back with... I'm gonna put Brushin back in the party for the simple reason that I like his perception skills. Anyways, we're gonna learn... so that was the next big thing. we're gonna learn the gossip skill, and the gossip skill is how you're going to find that behemoth that we just got told about. See how it all connects together? So that's kind of the thing. If you don't find the Thieves Guild, you won't have the Gossip skill. If you don't have the Gossip skill, then you won't be able to kill the Behemoth. If you don't kill the Behemoth, there is actually another quest, like, years later, that isn't completed. And by years later, I mean it's in Adratana, I believe in the third... Well, you technically get the quest in the first game, but you can't complete it at all if you don't do it. So, you know. Okay, so in order to put it back, you actually just do the exact same thing that we did a second ago. There we go. Sarah's gonna get another quest complete. And that's that. So okay, so we did that. We're just gonna head back. We're gonna head back to the right, all the way back to the right, back to the well, back outside of the counter. And we're gonna use the Cashland Hall map, and we're just going to go home again. And talk to this guy first, always, because he gives you points. And sometimes you forget to talk to him, you do a quest, and you lock yourself out of a reward. Okay. So here's the next thing. We get asked... Also, talk to this guy, because he gives you these rewards. Again, this is the same concept. You get rewards by talking to them, and sometimes you lock yourself out because you didn't know that you had to talk to them. Anyways, the next quest is to deal with an ancient elven spirit. Sigh. Big fat sigh. Anyone who's played this game before, well, actually no. See, that's a lie. It's not everyone that's played this game before, because the quest that I'm talking about is actually a quest that so little people actually find that most people don't know how tedious or horrible it is because they don't find the quest to begin with. And you'd have to find the quest before you can find it annoying. I'm obviously exaggerating like a tiny little bit. But only a tiny little bit, to be fair. Okay. I don't know if this guy has a shop up. He doesn't. The second person here is gone, actually. Anyways, the first things first, we are going to use Mazul Witch Coven map. Very importantly, talk to her. Ask her what the Coven is about. Ask her if she can do something for us. We're gonna get a quest. Can we cure Grushin's curse? Keep talking. Make sure you say, do what she asks, because otherwise, you will lose. You will lose this entire place. There is nothing you can do if you accidentally press the wrong option. Well, you can reload your save, I suppose. But if you choose the wrong dialogue option here, you will lose out on everything that this quest is about. You just won't get it, right? So, for the love of God, do not do the wrong thing. Anyways, we're gonna keep we're actually gonna bring Marion back into the fold. Why, you might ask? Well, because we're going to explore the place that I've been avoiding so far. Why now, you might ask? Because I have this vague suspicion that progressing is that the next quest, the quest that we have not yet done, is actually tied to progressing through here. Anyways, hello Hagens. And Hagens over here is the Millipuff hunting expert or whatever. I don't know what exactly he's supposed to be. We're gonna get the Millipuff X-Bow, and then if you move up here, oh, all of them are going to attack you. Anyways, the rest will be for another day, probably.